Namaste. This is Ezechi Ade. This is the Golden Circle Movement channel. Today we're discussing good and evil. So, since the beginning of time, there have been people who are good, who look out for the welfare of others, who are concerned with the whole family, the whole population. Then there are those who are more individualized, who are more focused on their own individual requirements, their needs, their desires, and don't really care about other people's requirements and needs. So we would say that an individual who is self-centered not necessarily is evil, but definitely is not 100% good. We would also say that someone who is empathetic, altruistic, and mostly concerned with the welfare of others might be considered a good person. But in the course of our everyday lives, it is not so easy to discern which is evil and which is good. So we have to follow our heart. We have to follow what we feel inside. And the thing about it is, that thing that we feel inside is constantly changing based upon the circumstances. So even though we may consider an action or someone's behavior to be negative or even evil, from their perspective, they are perfectly justified in what they're doing and why they're doing it. Sometimes it's not so easy to understand what is evil and what is good. So, as a practice, it is generally a good habit to not judge others, to not proclaim, to denounce that this or that person is evil or has evil intent. Rather, we should look at our own motivations and our own inspirations, our own actions. We should raise ourselves up to a higher standard so that our actions may be considered in the best interest of the whole, as opposed to an individual who is selfish and concerned only with their own well-being. So, in your own life, as you perform your daily activities, as you interact with others, you may find yourself being polished by someone who is less patient, maybe someone who doesn't have the same values that you have. So we call this soul polishing. Soul polishing is an important factor in raising the vibration of any individual who seeks light, who seeks a higher vibration. As you seek the light, then you will find you will be opposed by dark forces or lesser scrupulous, lesser virtuous sources, people, things, conditions. So it's not so important to judge. It's not good to judge others. This is the domain of the Most High, of the Source, God, however you want to describe the beginning of this reality. But it is our purpose to study, to practice, to raise our vibration so that we may be considered a good person, that we may be judged as good in the eyes of the Most High. What I would say to you is this: when you feel the need to judge or to point fingers, before you even do that, look at yourself. What are you doing? And what is the impact of your actions, your thoughts, your words, your deeds. As I said, your actions. So when we find ourselves doing what we can for the whole, for the best of humanity, we can just say that we are doing our best. If someone is doing less, they're still doing their best. They're just at a different level, a different capacity. So instead of putting that person down and calling them a criminal, what we need to do is send them light, send them vibrations that will raise them up. We need to pray for that individual, pray for their salvation. We need to set an example. If you want to be judged fairly, then set a good example. If you want to be judged as a good person, set a good example. If you do not wish to associate with negative individuals, negative forces, then you should not do so. You should find a way to raise yourself up to a higher standard, and not to point fingers at another individual because their standard is lower, but guide them. Guide them with your actions, with your life, with your movements. Let them see what your standard is. Even our own standards are not necessarily the most virtuous. We still have a ways to go. That's why there is good and there is evil, so that we may raise ourselves to a higher standard, and in this way bring humanity to a higher level of understanding, a higher level of beingness, a higher level of existence. What type of negative forces do you deal with in your life on a daily basis? And how do you overcome those negative influences? Are you able to look at those things as though they were nothing and just continue on raising yourself up and being an example of goodness and light? Or do we complain? Do we point fingers? Do we maybe even ostracize that individual or the situation? So maybe it's a better case for us if we accept, try to understand, try to empathize, and most importantly, send light. Send light through your words, your thoughts, your actions. Bring light to all those around you. Radiate light with your beingness, your persona. Please do your best. Thank you. I'm sorry. These are important phrases, words that we need to speak in order to lift the vibration, to raise the vibrations of others and ourselves. Let me know in the comments how you handle negativity and dark forces. What do you do? What is your practice? What is your routine? Do you feel that you are overly negative sometimes? How do you overcome your own negativity? Let me know in the comments. Please like this video if you found any use for it. Please share it with others. Subscribe to this channel and make sure you get the notifications. So, I am Ezechi Ade. This is the Golden Circle Movement channel. Namaste.